Hi, I'm Don. Today we paint Rasputin, the investigator miniature from the Cthulhu Death May Die game. The objective of the painting today is to make sure that we paint this miniature so that it looks like the illustration in the card in the Cthulhu game. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my studio. Other than these very awesome brands, this channel won't be possible without the awesome support of my patrons. I used to do illustrations a lot way back around 8 years ago, and it took me around maybe like 2 years. So it was 6 to 8 years of doing just illustrations, freelance work, doing children's books and all that stuff. So I love illustration. I like the look of miniature painting if it looks like a digital or traditional illustration. This is the main reason why, even though I'm kinda very comfortable when it comes to glazing and blending, especially with cuttlefish colors, and of course glazing with mediums, especially if you've seen my older videos, I'm not into that very smooth airbrush look finish on miniature painting. So I prefer a very artsy, painterly look that looks like illustrations. Although you'll notice here that I kinda thin my Vallejo paints a bit more with medium, meaning I add a bit more medium and thin it down so that it's semi-transparent. I like that effect so much. Reason why I like cuttlefish is because the interweaving of semi-transparent paints creates a very nice complex look to my miniatures. So super basic layering with the help of a bit of mediums creates a more complex look for me in a very efficient manner. Instead of mixing a lot of colors, painting with semi-transparent paints with the help of mediums, I kind of create really nice textures with the interweaving of the painting of the textures and the transparency of the paints. Although the focus and the objective of the painting today is to make sure that the painting of the miniature looks like the illustration. So if you've noticed, even at the start of the painting, even at the start of this video, I'm kind of trying to create textures as I paint different colors. So we're sort of, let's call it texture layering, because we're trying to paint textures as we paint lighter colors on top of each other. Texture layering or texture painting is basically what we do once we start painting the pre-highlight colors and the highlight colors, basically the lighter colors. We try to create more textures by stippling, scratching, cross-hatching, and all those techniques. So if we paint it during the pre-highlight color stage only, we don't create the same complexity, unlike this one where we try to do sketching and texture painting from the start of the painting of the miniature. So texture painting, kinda sounds boring, because it's logical. I mean, the name is logical. We're creating and painting textures as we do layering, but it can be boring. So I do recommend, I do ask you guys to comment below to give me a cool name similar to Slop Chop and for this miniature painting technique. This painterly texture painting style may look very rough, especially to people who really love using their airbrushes and creating those really nice, very airbrush look. But I really prefer this look, to be honest, even though I do fat glazes, do a bit of blending in some of my older miniatures and even my newer videos. I really prefer a very painterly. I feel it a very painterly look. I feel it's more artsy. I feel it's more nostalgic for me since it looks like illustrations. In this video, we did a quick, really OSL effect for the flame. So it's a matter of just painting the yellows and then sort of creating a bit of texture by painting with oranges and then reds, and eventually I stippled some black at the tip of the flame on the hands of Rasputin. Now in the video, you'll notice that I'm painting the highest highlights already, which are like stone gray if you're using Vallejo, but it's mummy dust if you have cuttlefish. So we are in the flip-flop stage. I kind of call it flip-flop stage, wherein I paint some shades and then do some highlighting and then tone down a bit of the area, some areas of the highlighting with more shades. So it's flip-flopping between highlighting and adding shades. However, in this miniature, even the shades are kind of stippled or painted with scratches, so meaning I'm kind of trying to produce very subtle textures as I paint in the shades. So basically, it's texture painting all the way for this miniature, from the start of the painting to the dark base colors to the base colors, the midtones, and especially the highlights. But even the shades, where I tried to paint them in like a stippling manner so that I also create textures. Except for the OSL. This one is just fat glazes with orange, because when you're painting OSL, I make it a point that the glow effect, the reflection of the flame, is a little bit darker than the yellow, very intense highlights of the source of light. The long 18-minute video tutorial version of this video is of course up at Patreon. So we are done. I think we were able to like achieve the look that we see in the illustration. However, I feel that I had to add a bit of OSL effect on the shoulders and the areas where the flame on the hands are near. But before the OSL effects, I will admit that we kinda like pulled it off and the painting looks like the illustration. Very rough for some people, very textured, but I really prefer this look. I'm really happy with the result of this quick miniature painting. The textures are super nice, the colors are just enough, not too bright, not too vibrant, and it matches the feel and mood of the game. So I'm serious guys, do find a good name for texture painting so that it will look cool in the thumbnails and stuff like that. That's it, Pansit!